For today's notes, we're going to be solving inequalities using multiplication and division. The main thing to keep in mind when you're solving an inequality with multiplying or dividing is that if you multiply or divide by a negative number, you need to flip your inequality sign. Okay, so flip inequality arrow. So if you multiply or divide by a negative number, you need to flip the inequality sign. So we're going to go through and work out a few examples. Example 1, 7p less than negative 28. The 7 is multiplying, so we always start on the side with the letter. And we're going to do whatever the inverse is. So it's multiplying, so we're going to divide both sides by 7. Now we are dividing by positive 7, not negative, so you don't do anything with the sign, so you just cancel like normal. So p will be less than negative 4. And then we're going to graph this. So again, for graphing purposes, you only need a few numbers. Put negative 4 in the center. Put numbers that are bigger to the right. So bigger numbers always go to the right, and smaller numbers always go to the left. Bigger would be negative 3, negative 2, smaller, negative 5, negative 6. So remember that for inequalities and negatives, it's kind of the opposite. Now, there's no bar, so just a quick little reminder, if it's this inequality or this inequality, that's an open circle, versus if it has a bar under it, it's a closed circle. So when we're doing the graphing today, that's how you're going to distinguish between the circles. Okay, so just a quick review on that. So we know open circle, and since the letter is on the left, we're going to copy that direction. So we're going to do open circle at negative 4, and we're going to copy going left. So remember, as long as the letter's on the left-hand side, you just copy. This points to the left, so our arrow also goes left. All right, let's try another one. So for this one, the 3 is underneath, which is division. So we're going to multiply both sides by 3. Again, not a negative, so we don't change anything with the signs. The 3's will cancel, and you'll have y less than or equal to 15. We're going to put our answer in the center. So the answer is 15, so that it's going to go in the middle. Bigger numbers, so 16, 17, smaller, 14, 13. It has a bar. Bar means closed circle, so we're going to do closed circle on 15. And it points left, so we're going to go left. All right, sometimes the letter is on the opposite side. So for this one, it's not only on the opposite side, but it is a fraction that's multiplying, and we don't divide. Okay, dividing something would look really, really ugly and make us a little confused. So you're going to multiply by the reciprocal. And since it's negative here, we're going to make it negative here as well. So you want to multiply by the reciprocal. And we're going to do that to both sides. So we're going to come over here and do a negative 5 over 3. You could put this over 1 if that helps. We did multiply by a negative something, so this inequality sign needs to go the other direction, and I'd recommend you do that sooner than later so you don't forget. A negative and a negative is a positive, so then 5/3 times 1 is just 5/3. And then this all cancels, giving you x. And the last thing I would do is I would just rewrite this the other direction. So x, and it's opening towards the x, so opens towards the x. You don't have to do this step, but it's easier to graph when you can copy this direction because the x is on the left-hand side. So 5/3 is going to go in the center. Bigger would be like 6/3, smaller would be like 4/3. It is a closed circle because it has the bar, so we're going to do solid circle on 5/3. And our arrow points to the right, so we're going to go to the right. Just always remember, as long as the letter is on the left, you will just basically copy that direction. Okay, I have just a couple more, trying to make sure to give you enough practice for homework. So number 4, you have, again, the variables on the right side. So we're going to divide by -3. So this is not subtracting. This is dividing by -3. So you're going to divide by -3 and divide by -3, but you just divided by negative. So this inequality sign needs to come down here. Sorry, it's having a hard time focusing, and change the other direction. And then 63 divided by -3, you can just push that in your calculator. It's -21. These cancel. Again, I don't generally like the W on the right side, so I'm going to switch it so it goes to the left side. So W, and it opens, so opens -21. And then we're going to plot that. So -21, bigger is -20, smaller -22. No bar, so we're going to do an open circle since there's no bar. And we're going to the right because our inequality is pointing to the right. 2 more. All right, another fraction one. So this time we have 2/3 it's multiplying by y, so we're going to multiply by 3/2 to both sides. And so these will cancel. Now when you do this math here, you have a couple options. You can multiply straight across, so 4 times 3, which is 12, and 1 times 2 is 2, and then reduce that, it's a 6. The other option is you could cross cancel. So if I go back over here, you could say, well, 2 goes into 2 once, and 2 goes into 4 twice, and then 2 times 3 is 6. Either way, you should be getting 6. It doesn't matter which way you do it to me. So we have y less than 6, so we'll put 6 in the center, bigger on the right, smaller on the left. No bar on the inequality, so we know open circle, and it points left, so we're going to go left. All right, final one. We're dividing by 2, so we are going to multiply by 2. One thing I didn't mention, when you do this multiplication, it's like a 2/1. That's how you're able to cross these off because it's in the numerator, not in the denominator. And then 2 times -8 is -16, but again, we did not multiply by negative, so we don't do anything with the inequality, it stays the same. Graphing purposes, let's put a -16 here, and then we want to go bigger, -15, smaller, -17. There is a bar this time here, the bar, so we're going to do solid circle on -16. Close that circle in, points to the left, so we're going to go to the left. All right, good luck.